What's going on, everybody? I am trying to do a little better. Honestly, I've been in kind of a funk lately. I'm just, dealing with some things and some stuff. I'm about to get a gym membership. Started making these fruit drinks. I don't know if you'd call that a smoothie. It's more of like fruit goop, but I drink it anyway. Papaya, mango, strawberry, banana, a little bit of pineapple, and orange juice in it. Make a big batch, and I try to have at least 2 glasses of that a day. I stumbled upon this today, which is amazing. It's like grilled pork. Freaking excellent. From one of the butcher shops around here. Really, really good. But yeah, no, today, running a few errands, getting some dog food. Honestly, haven't really done anything for like 4 months. I've just been trying to take it easy. Through like 6 or 7 years of my life where I worked my ass off and sometimes 80, 100 hours a week. I mean, it was just too much. It was terrible. And I went from doing that to doing absolutely nothing, which was a big adjustment. And after 4 months, I'm not so sure I like it. Not too far from now, I'm gonna have a studio somewhere. Just don't know if I want to put it in this area or not. I'm thinking about moving. And then for weeks now, I just haven't left the house too much. Sleeping too much. No. It's time to pick myself back up. I got the gym membership. Let's go. It's been a while. I'm looking kind of scrawny. See if I can put some weight on. Yeah, I'm just, at this point, I have enjoyed my vacation very much. Planned for it to be 6 months. Couldn't make it that long. I need something to do. Starting to get bored. I've been eating really well, so that's good. I mean, there's virtually no fast food around here. About the worst you can find is fried chicken or pizza. A lot of rice, a lot of beans, a lot of eggs. I do eat quite a bit more pork here than I do other places, just for the simple fact that I love a type of pork they make here called Costa. Just freaking excellent, and it's fried. So anyway, yeah, I love that. But quite a bit of fish too, shrimp, seafood, stuff like that's pretty common. God willing, I'll have at least a few more years ahead of me, so see what we can do with them. Well, that was good. That was good. I anticipate that I'll be sore for probably the next week. It always takes some time to really get back into it, but yeah, anyway, I made the first hurdle and bought the damn membership and got in there. Feeling scrawny, man, feeling scrawny. Another thing, I'm sorry that I haven't really shown you around where I am as my viewers. I'm trying to live more of a private life right now. I'm not really trying to disclose where I'm at. When a person is drunk in the United States, they will swerve all over the road. And that is generally considered to be a sign that someone is driving while intoxicated. Now, in Costa Rica, it is completely the opposite. If you are sober, you will swerve all over the road to avoid the various potholes. If you are drunk, you will simply drive in a straight line and hit all of them. That is kind of a funny difference. When you travel, to me, traveling used to be 3 hours away, you go to the beach, and then you have to deal with the same people as where you left. I mean, it's not really an experience of anything different. And I don't know if you guys have been to any of these touristy places. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, Gatlinburg, Tennessee is the same place as Atlantic City, is the same place as Honolulu. They're all the same damn place. They usually have a Ripley's Aquarium and everything's really expensive and it's kind of dirty and washed out. If I have to go any more than, 3 states away in the United States, I might as well just put all of my things in the car, sell what I can't bring with me, and just go there. I don't like driving, it hurts my back. This is coming from a guy who spent 2 weeks on the road traveling through Central America, through 7 different countries. Southern hospitality extends way into Mexico and very far beyond, which is funny. In the United States and the South, we're all kind of, we have some Southern hospitality for the most part. People tend to be a little wary of people who are from different cultures and have different colors than they do. But we do have some hospitality. As you go a little further north into, say, New York, it's just nothing but assholes. Which is funny because as soon as you cross the border into Canada, it's considered impolite not to say thank you to the bus driver. So tell me how that works out. Now, I only have experience on the eastern seaboard of the United States, and so I can't speak on the Pacific Northwest or the Midwest too much, even though I'm from there. All I can tell you about that place is there's a lot of tornadoes and it's really cool. That's about all I can tell you. But as I came through all of these different countries, I mean, you really get a first-hand experience of just how different the people look, just how different the accents are, the cultures are, the food is. And what I can say is that most of the people that I met were quite nice. Most of the people that I met, you know, if you needed a bite to eat, they'd help you out. If you had a flat tire, somebody was going to come along to help you change it. But you have always to remember, be aware, or use your intuition. Your body is basically a threat detection device, so trust it. And you know, you have to know the difference between somebody who's treating you to dinner and somebody who's treating you to dinner so they can f you afterwards. There's no teaching somebody how to do that. See, I met some not so great people that I was very keen to get away from quickly. Sure. I went the other way, but I have a newfound respect for all the migrants who have made this journey on foot through all these border crossings. And whether or not, I'm not going to get into the debate about illegal immigration and all this other stuff, although I can tell you that most countries don't play that either. I mean, if they find somebody who is in their country illegally without the proper paperwork, they will deport them. I'm in no position to get into that philosophical debate. You know, I see both sides, but I do have a newfound respect for all the people who have made that journey, and very many of them didn't make it. You know, I saw migrants. I saw a lot of them on this journey. I can recall I was at the southern border of Mexico with Guatemala, and we chose to go through a border crossing. All of this, by the way, is in other videos on my channel. If you want to follow the journey, you can. I documented the whole thing. But in this border crossing, there was a bridge that went over, and I mean, this place was, okay, first of all, Guatemala is not my favorite place in the world. It's the only place I got scammed, and I'm not keen to go back there. No offense at all to the Guatemalan people. But I saw them. There was this guy who had these cables rigged up and these inner tube floats with pieces of plywood on them, and anybody who didn't have papers could pay him a small fee. He'd put you on a float and he'd just pull that rope or that cable, send you over to the other side. I don't know whether that's legal or whether he paid off somebody. The whole place was super sketchy as soon as we crossed into Guatemala, and it was at night, and that was not a fun time at all. But I saw a lot of these migrants. And you really get a first-hand view, first-hand experience of all the different cultures. I mean, just these people are different. The reason why I say this and the reason why I try to illustrate this so strongly is that in the United States, yes, they teach us somewhat about other countries, but ours is the best, and we're super proud to be from there, and it's the best country in the world, and all this and all that, and you'll believe that until you go somewhere else and have a better time or find a better place or find a better experience. But basically, the first assumption is that anybody who's obviously Latino is Mexican. So we will first assume that, and then if you tell us from another country, we'll be like, oh, they're Mexican just from a little further south. But no, I am trying to tell you people that all of these people are different. They have different mannerisms, they have different ways of speaking, they speak different Spanish, they have different slang. I mean, just all of these things. It is not the same from country to country, but it was maybe not the smartest thing I've ever done, maybe not the most practical thing I've ever done, maybe not the most financially smart thing I've ever done, but certainly not that. It would have been much easier. Looking back, would have costed much less to just put the dogs on a plane and fly here, but no, I chose to drive. And it was an experience unlike any other. Would I do it again? Hell no. Hell no. There's no way. Knowing what I know now, I had originally planned for this trip to take like, I don't know, 7, 8 days. I wound up taking 14 or 15, can't remember. But dude, no, it was really fun in a lot of ways. I had a lot of experiences that I would have never had otherwise, and I would assume that most people never will have. But it was dangerous. It was kind of stupid, but you know, at that moment in my life, I didn't really care. I don't know if I've ever told the entire story of how I wound up coming here, but yeah, it's kind of crazy, and I'm not the most sane person that I know. But it was a really rich experience. I wouldn't recommend it for everybody. Very cool, very enlightening in a lot of ways, very dangerous in a lot of other ways. So I'm certainly not recommending that anybody do what I did. No more than I would recommend crossing the Pacific Ocean in a sailboat. It will open your eyes. It totally changed my perspective of not just my own place in the world, but I had to step outside of my culture to see the shackles that it had placed on my thinking. And when you go other places and you meet people from different cultures, and the things that you do that you find perfectly normal, they find a bit odd, and you come to find out that your culture isn't the only one. Bro, this guy is a friggin' G. He's got a toolbox on the back, and 2 armloads full of groceries. He is one brave man. Alright, it's been 5 months. I'm trying to live more of a private lifestyle and haven't disclosed where I'm at to anyone, really. But I'll tell you, I am near a small town called Titlaran. It's in Costa province. It's near Lago Arenal. This is where I've been at, for the most part, ever since I came here. And it's in a rural area, quite expensive. It is much cheaper to just travel into San Jose and buy like things you need for the house or just really anything. So yeah, it's quite expensive, and I mean, there's not really too much around here. And I'm not entirely certain that I want to put an art studio or a tattoo studio here. So I haven't, and I'm still working on what I'm going to do next. There's basically no international chains here whatsoever. There's no fast food. There's no, I mean, there's a few like smaller local chains, but it's mostly just small businesses, mom and pop type shops. But you can find pretty much anything you need in town, with some exceptions. Yeah, this is where I'm at, and I'll show you guys around eventually. The views are really nice out here. It's very mountainous. It's very a lot of cow pastures, a lot of farms and stuff. It's a nice place. Bit of an overcast day today. It's usually a lot more sunny. We have needed some rain. I will say that the roads here are generally not in the best condition. There's usually a lot of potholes to avoid. But you just learn how to deal with it. I mean, you just learn how to drive like everyone else does. If you look behind me, you will see what is by far the largest damn grasshopper I've ever seen in my life. Holy look at this thing. Look at this guy. That is insane. That is easily, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches. Freaking huge. Here it is next to my hand. I have never seen anything like this in my life. Look at him. Man, that thing took off flying when I shut the gate. It looked like a damn bird. I have had the great pleasure and privilege of having to deal with police in virtually all of the countries that I have visited. Now, in my country, in the United States, they're quite bad. I mean, they're generally, I mean, there's a couple good ones, but generally speaking, you're going to deal with an asshole with a chip on their shoulder, and they tend to be very aggressive and quite violent. In Mexico, they are worse. In Mexico, they are absolutely horrendous. Every single checkpoint I got stopped at, I was made to exit the car, and the car was thoroughly searched. They were not very nice. But once they figured out that I had cameras rolling, they almost always changed their tune immediately. Big shout out to the guy who gave me the idea to get the dash cams and always have a camera rolling while in Mexico. I did not have really a single decent interaction with the Mexican police at all. And all the other countries, no problem. No problem. They were super chill, super cool, no problems at all. Here in Costa Rica, there are, to my knowledge, at least 3 branches. I think there's another one. But you have like, you have cops that are just like patrol officers. That's the Fuerza Pública. So they're basically, you know, they patrol the town and stuff. They look for and confiscate drugs. They make arrests and, you know, things of this nature for like general law enforcement, general crimes and stuff, I guess. There is another branch that is called the Tránsito, and they're like basically like, I don't know if you could call them like state troopers basically, but they patrol the highways. They're basically highway patrol. They enforce all the traffic laws. They're the people who are going to write you a ticket for speeding. You know, they deal with things like this. The other branch that I'm aware of, that is the OIJ, which is OIJ in English, and they're basically the FBI. They do like, I guess, kind of like the more serious investigations. They do raids and stuff against dealers and gang members and people like this. But of all the interactions that I've had with any of these people, I did have an interaction with a transit officer that was, I mean, I thought he was kind of rude, but you know, you never know what kind of a day somebody is having, so I'm not trying to judge the man too much. At any rate, yeah, no, I haven't had any issues with these people. But yeah, it's quite different. Like the patrol officers can't write you a ticket for a traffic infraction. I mean, they can stop you and hold you and call one of the transit officers. But yeah, things are quite a bit different here. Oh, I did get shook down one night in San Jose. We were, I think it was like a Friday night or something. And, you know, there are big parties everywhere, a bunch of people in the street, all this and all that. I'm hanging out with my buddy. And we wound up also hanging out with these other 2 people. We're sitting in the car. You know, obviously, we don't have anything. We're not doing anything. The cops roll up. I think 4 or 5 of them jump out of the car real fast. And they just run up on us, pull us out of the car. They fucking put me against this garage door and frisk me down. And of course, we're just being chill. That was pretty invasive. That was kind of aggressive, but I mean, it wasn't really anything too serious. But no, like at least the cops that I know here in this town, they are super cool. I mean, they obviously care about the community. They obviously are here to serve and to protect. And I mean, most of the time they'll just have a friendly conversation with you. I mean, they're just chill. They have better things to do than to go around bothering people or hem somebody up over having a joint or something like this. And in general, they're I mean, not unpleasant to deal with at all, at least not in my experience. Compared to American police officers, they are way cooler and way more chill. You know that whole like, I'm gonna stick my thumbs in my vest and chew a piece of gum too loudly. Okay. I don't like your tone, buddy. You're coming with me. You're going to jail. Like, there's none of that shit here at all. Like, they really are not egotistical, which is super cool. But yeah, there's none of that. I mean, they're just ordinary people. I don't think that they view it here as like a personality. the way that American or even Mexican police officers might tend to view themselves. I mean, they're people doing a job. It's not like their entire identity. At least it doesn't seem to be. Beautiful out here. If we look to our left, we will see the edge of a cliff that you definitely do not want to fall off of the other side of. Oh yeah, I made the news I think the first month I was here.
Uno de los mayores atractivos que tiene nuestro cantón es la iglesia, es la catedral de Tilarán. Por acá nos encontramos con Dalton, un visitante extranjero que le encanta nuestro país y hemos estado viendo que...
So I'm just sitting in the park one day, minding my own business. I had finally encountered an art store, so I got some paint and a canvas and went to work painting this church. And I guess the guys from the news just so happened to be driving by and asked if we could do an interview. Of course, I said absolutely. And of all the things I could have been caught doing, I'm certainly glad that it was me painting a church. I always had a feeling I'd wind up on the news for something. And it definitely wasn't going to be for curing cancer. So I'm glad it was this.
Bueno, Dalton, mucho gusto conocer.
This is really in all ways a community that's just like any other. I mean, it's Sunday today. Everybody's in church. Most of the stores are closed. The kids have to go to school. They don't go to school, that's a problem. You gotta have money, or you gotta have a job or some way of supporting yourself. If you don't, that's a freaking problem. I mean, this is a perfectly ordinary place filled with perfectly ordinary people doing perfectly ordinary things.
Es muy interesante.
After like 4 years, I guess it was time for an eye exam. That's the inside of my eye. Now, there are, of course, a few differences. Number one, there are freaking iguanas everywhere. And geckos, too. They're always in the house. You see one just about every day. The biggest cultural difference would certainly be that they don't have this thing that we tend to have as American people, where we just have this incessant need to just run around all the time, you know, and always be doing something. People are a lot more chill. They're a lot more relaxed. It's okay to like just hang out, which is different and awesome. But kind of the downside of that, not throwing any shade, but nothing comes fast. People tend not to be very punctual, but you know, who cares? Pura vida. Everybody's chilling. Some other differences, I mean, the houses tend to be a little bit smaller. Rooms tend to be a bit smaller. Yards certainly are a lot smaller. The climate obviously is different. It pretty much hovers between like 60 and 80 degrees here year round. Doesn't ever really change too much. You know, if it gets down to 60, it's cold. If it's over 80, it's hot. Everybody thinks so, but anywhere in between is like perfectly normal, pretty ordinary as far as the climate here. There are birds, I mean, just animals in general. There's all kinds of animals I've never seen before in my life. They have things that are called pizote, which are, it's like a little dog-looking thing with a long tail. They usually travel in packs. You have all kinds of beautiful birds. Many different species of trees, lots of palm trees. The landscaping here is beautiful, you know, mostly all tropical. There's a lot of what are known as bufo toads around here. I think we have some in Florida, but yeah, they're all over the place here, and they're kind of dangerous. I mean, they're the one that people like scrape the back off of to do something. I honestly, I don't know the process, but I know when the dogs get a hold of them, it can make a dog very sick, and they act really strange for about a day. I'm pretty sure one of mine got into one because he was acting kind of funny the other day. It's cool now. Obviously, everybody speaks Spanish. You might get lucky and encounter somebody who speaks a little English. You might even get lucky and encounter somebody who is fluent in it. But as far as like the education goes, I thought that they learned a lot more in school. But apparently it's very basic, and still very many people do not speak English. So, you know, I thought a lot more people did, but it turns out they don't. So here I am, pretty freaking fluent in Spanish at this point, and before this video gets too long, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm hungry, I'd like to go eat. I'm gonna go to the gym again and have an appointment for a new set of glasses. I'm gonna go do that, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching the channel. If you guys are still here, if you're still keeping up with me and checking on me, and feel free to ask any questions that you might have in the comments, and tell me what you think about this place or anything. Have a good day.